This is CL with the Music Independent Summit Connection, here to talk to you about funding your next album. If you don't have your own recording studio, making a hit record requires a lot of time and money. You gotta purchase studio time, hire studio quality musicians, find the people with the expertise necessary to produce a top quality CD. In the end, the quality of the CD is greatly affected by how much time and money you sink into your project. Unfortunately, most fledgling recording artists don't have the required funds and don't know where to obtain them. The purpose of this video is to give you a few tips on funding your next album or your first album, whichever the case may be. Number one, you can go directly to your fans. Last year, singer-songwriter Jill Sobel shocked the music world by asking her fans to fund her next album. Using a web blog, she set up donation levels from $10 to $10,000 for her fans to donate, and each person who donated received a prize. For example, the $10 donation received a free download of her album. The $10,000 donation won the opportunity to sing on her album. Jill raised the needed $75,000 to create her new album that should be released in April of 2009. Now, the second way of obtaining funding is through websites that foster personal and financial relationships with indie artists and music fans worldwide. There are sites out there that do this exactly the same way that Jill did it, but they have a little bit more of a structure set up. Sites like Celeban, Marcofundo, and Indie Financial Network are great resource sites that allow you to build a fan base and raise funds for your next project. Third way of getting funding, private investment from friends and business people in your hometown. Sometimes this is the best place to start. If you've built up a fan base in your hometown, you may have run across acquaintances in the business community who might jump at the chance to help you out. Number four, private grants or grants from private foundations. Now, there still is a few places out there for you to obtain private funding. For example, foundation grants to individuals online is one such organization. They provide information to obtain private grants for students, artists, and academic researchers. Since you're an artist, this is worth investigating. Number five, government grants. Now, although it's difficult these days to get a government grant, you might find something at the cfda.gov or grants.gov websites. These sites provide information on federal government grants available and details on how to apply. It's a bit difficult, but it's always worth a shot. Now, in order to obtain funding using the above methods, you're going to need to have an estimate of the actual cost for creating your CD. Some possible expenditures would include setting up legalities for your business, hiring musicians, production fees, engineers, mixing time, additional studio costs, whether you're doing some post-production, mastering, manufacturing, artwork. You might need to get new gear, get your piano tuned, a release party, radio promotion, and advertisement. You know, some people end up leaving out those last few. You know, those are just as important. You'll need to estimate the price of all these possible expenses by talking to professionals in your area. You may cut corners by doing some of this work yourself. However, you must always be aware that the homemade CDs seldom become top hits. If you want to compete with the big boys, you're going to need to bite the bullet and pay professionals to help you produce your CD. While the expenses can sometimes become enormous, funding your next album may be as close as a phone call to a friend or as easy as starting a blog aimed at your fans to get support. All it takes is perseverance, patience, and a good plan. This is CL with the Music Independent Summit Connection with ways of funding your next album or your first album. Check us out online at musicindependenceonline.com.